Hey, I'm Dr. Melissa, and this week we have been talking about decoding your symptoms. We are talking about the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual symptoms that everyone has and that you may be having right now that are actually a message and a key to unlock your own map. When we realize what a gift our symptoms are, we realize that they are pointing us in the right direction, that they are giving us the opportunity to course correct before we get way off of our path. When we realize that that's what they're there, it shifts our relationship with those symptoms. Instead of being a nuisance or something completely bothersome, they're instead seeing it for what they are, a message. And you can choose to do with the message what you wish. What I can tell you is that if you choose to ignore the message, the messenger will get louder. Have you ever had this experience where, you're feeling a little under the weather and you ignore it, you decide to press on anyway? Okay, that was me many times in the past. And then you get full-blown sick. The message just got louder because I didn't listen. Or have you ever had the situation where, you have a pain somewhere and you choose to ignore it and it gets worse and it gets worse, it gets louder, it gets louder. It's going to do that until you hear the message, right? It's like the little kid pulling at your leg, mama, 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 mama. And they get louder and louder and louder until you address them, until you identify them. And once you understand that that is the way that it works, you realize that these are the keys to decoding your own map, to understanding what's going on. I can tell you in my own map, there are numerous things that come up that give me different information. If my left neck and shoulder are really tense and tight, I know that my fear of not being good enough is kicked up. And at this point, it's so subtle because it's such a small part of me that I might otherwise not be aware. And I am completely grateful that my neck will give me that signal so that I know. If my skin breaks out, I know that my boundaries have been violated and that I've allowed that to happen. And I can, again, these are on the realm of very subtle. These are not people who are, jumping in and completely invading personal space or personal boundaries in a way that's obvious. These are very subtle. But when my skin breaks out, I know I have the opportunity to examine my boundaries at the even very subtle level and to make the shifts that are necessary so that I can continue moving forward. If my feet get really, really tight and almost rigid, I know that I'm being rigid about something in my own life, that I'm not being open enough, flowy enough, to something, an impulse that's coming in that's trying to show me a different way. And if my chest feels very tight and constricted, almost like a vice around it, I know that I am not deeply connected to the earth, that I am out of alignment with the earth and the earth's energy flow, and that what I need to do is go outside and ground. These kind of things become a map that is awesome as you're going through your day, and here you're doing things, you've prioritized the things that are most important to you. You're making progress, you're taking steps. We all hit upper limits. We all hit challenges. We're all pushing our comfort zones, expanding our comfort zones, our leading edges in a variety of areas. And to have a symptom come out, if my left and right brain are not communicating very well together, I get a very clear symptom or signal of that my left side of my head feels a little heavier. It feels like that eye wants to close. And I can immediately stop what I'm doing and I can correct that energy. I can clear the fear that's causing that. And I can then be that much more productive and effective in everything else that I'm doing. So I encourage you to start creating your own map. Start making a list of all of the symptoms that you have, physical, mental, spiritual, emotional, and start to identify what causes them so that when they come up in the future, you can course correct immediately and move on with greater results. If you are interested in taking this conversation further, and if you'd like help decoding your own symptoms on your map, I invite you to join us in the Abundanteers, where we are a group of amazing people who are creating abundance in all areas of life by getting out of our own way and aligning our mind, body, and spirit with our why. We would love to have you.